Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms. And these are Charter Moms chats, where we've been going live and having interviews to help parents get the information they need to find the schools that are the right fit for their children. And today on our social media, we reshared the enrollment guide for Compass Rose Public Schools because they have exciting news. They're growing. They're adding Compass Rose Dream to the Compass Rose region in San Antonio. And so our guest today to talk about Compass Rose Public Schools and specifically Compass Rose Dream, we have the principal of Compass Rose Dream, who's Felipe Butanda. So thank you for joining Charter Chat. And we also have a repeat guest, Ryane Burke, and she's the executive director of Compass Rose Public Schools, and she's been on in the past. Compass Rose. So thank you both so much for joining me. We can talk about Compass Rose. We can talk specifically about Compass Rose Dream, and I'm excited to get started.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, Inga.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for this opportunity.
Yeah. So, okay. So I want to kind of take a step back if there are families who aren't familiar with Compass Rose Public Schools, to kind of talk about the mission and vision of, what Compass Rose Public Schools is about.
Sure, absolutely. I can jump in. So Compass Rose Public Schools has campuses across San Antonio and also in the greater Austin area. And our mission is really to make sure that all of our students are equipped with everything they need to be successful in life and take on all of the opportunities and dreams that they want to pursue. So that looks, of course, like the academic skills, the interpersonal skills, right? And also really making sure that we are living and breathing our values all the time. So those are things that sort of permeate throughout our schools. And something that's really, I think, unique about Compass Rose Public Schools is that each of our campuses has a field of study. Formerly, I think we were calling it a focus area, but a field of study, everything from aviation and STEM to entrepreneurship to public health. And Mr. Butanda will also share the field of study for Compass Rose Dream today. And so really we exist to make sure that our students and families have a great option for their child in terms of readiness for college, readiness for the world beyond high school that they will, be taking on in just a few years.
Yeah, well, that's great. It's been really exciting for me watching Compass Rose grow. I remember meeting the founder, Paul Morrissey, when he was in the application phase, and it's been really exciting to see all this growth. But so can you all explain more about which campuses there are in the San Antonio region and kind of talk about those fields of study? And this is all in the enrollment guide blog post, but I just want to have people get a sense of what the breadth is.
Yes, absolutely. So we have our Compass Rose Legacy Campus, which is located at Brook City Base, and the field of study there is entrepreneurship. We have our Compass Rose Ingenuity Campus, which is located at Port San Antonio, and their focus is aviation and STEM. And we have our campus in the Windcrest area, which their focus is public health, and they have a specialization in nature-based learning, specifically for our K-2 students there. And then our newest campus that Mr. Butanda is here to speak about today, their field of study is going to be medical professions. So we're very, very excited for a new field of study at one of our campuses.
Okay, well, that's the perfect setup for my next question, which is, Felipe, what as students at Compass Rose Dream, what will they be able to learn about medicine and medical careers?
Thank you for that question, Inga. What we want to accomplish three different things. The very first one is we want to make sure that our students have exposure and access to the medical careers in our community. We want them to have that contact with professionals in the medical field for them to understand really what the options are, how to go about them, what is it that they need in order to enter those fields of education, and for them to really ask themselves if this is something that they want to pursue as a career. So that's the number one thing that we want to pursue. The second thing is, even if they decide that they do not want to go into the field of medicine, we want to provide them with the right tools, information, in order for them to live a healthy lifestyle. So we want them, we're going to be studying things such as nutrition, how to exercise right, mental health, how to prevent diabetes, all of these tools. And we want our students from kinder all the way to 12th grade, whenever we get there, right, to be able to have all of this information for them to take the right decisions in order to live healthier. And the third thing that we want to accomplish is we want to make sure that they know how to advocate for their physical and mental needs, and how to advocate for those in our communities.
Yeah. Wow. That's it's so. I'm kind of a news junkie. I read about the news about what's happening in San Antonio as far as public health, and I know that like Judge Nelson Wolf, the county judge, like he spoke about the status of the county and his what a great concern public health is,
Correct.
and it's so important that even this is something that schools can do to help young even at a young age spread ideas about health, and then also create like the workforce that's going to be able to take care of the health of the San Antonio community in the future.
Absolutely, Inga. And the one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this is because here I am in my early 20s. Well, maybe a little later than that, and learning about how to take care of myself, how to take care of my body, how to take care of my mental health. And I could just imagine if we can equip our students from kinder on to take care of these of their bodies and how to really have access to the public health, I think it would be very, very empowering for students.
Yeah. Okay. So I know as a actually Ryan and I were emailing about this earlier. So for Compass Rose Dream, there is a campus location, but it's that new location is not necessarily going to be ready in time for the coming school year. So what's the status of the Compass Rose campus? Where from when I guess students will start in August 2022, but they'll be sort of co-located, right?
Yeah. So yes, possibly. We've
Oh,
gotten
okay,
a
okay.
little bit of we've actually gotten a little bit of updated information, and this is super new. So this is
Okay.
actually one of the first times I think that we're sharing this possibility. We are exploring right now. The plan was to co-locate with our Ingenuity campus at Port San Antonio, and that is something that is still a distinct possibility. Though we are currently also exploring the option of a location that is in the medical center area as our temporary site for one school year. And it's off Babcock Road in the medical center area. We don't have final information yet, but as soon as we have that, we'll of course be sharing that out on social media and sharing that with our families who have applied already. So those are sort of the two options for our location for next year. And then our permanent location will still be in the medical center area starting in August of 2023.
Okay, got it. Okay. Well, this is what it's like. Never a
Fresh
dull
off the
moment being
presses,
like,
yes.
right in the charter school world. Like that right. It's not like traditional public schools have a long planning horizon. They can buy land and issue bonds and right. Whereas like charter schools have to be nimble, right? Be responding to the needs of
Right.
the community and working within a regulatory environment. But it sounds like you've got a plan so that students enrolling in August 22 will have a place to learn.
Yes,
And there's
absolutely.
by August 2023, they will be located in the medical center area, which is great for having access to professionals
Right.
that Felipe was talking about. And I want to highlight one of the features of Compass Rose, and we have details about this in the blog post, is that y'all do provide transportation. So wherever the temporary location is, students will be able to get there on a school bus.
That is correct, Inga, and we do provide public transportation for students on and from our campuses, and we typically set about 10 different bus stops that surround all of our campuses and make very easy for our families to come to our school and back home.
Yeah, yeah. And this is a question that comes up a lot in the Facebook discussion group. Parents will ask like, well, so does this charter school have transportation? And whenever that question comes up, either me or a group member will often comment and say, well, Compass Rose has transportation. And that's it's really important for working families and for equity and provide access. Well, I guess okay. Actually, I got a little ahead of myself. I meant to ask. As we were talking about the location, like what grade levels will be served at Compass Rose Dream in the fall, and what's the growth plan?
Yep. And starting this fall, August 2022, we'll be launching with kindergarten through fifth grade. And the plan is to add one grade level in each consecutive year after that.
Okay, got it. Okay, so well that's okay. So kindergarten through fifth grade in August 2022, and then growing after that. Okay, cool. And we'll stay tuned for details about the location as y'all get more information. So okay. Well, let me ask sort of going back to the field of study of the campus of medicine and medical careers. I was wondering if y'all could share more about how Compass Rose Beam could help address the systemic health challenges in the community. What are the strategies for that?
Absolutely. We do recognize and identify that our communities don't, a lot of members of our communities don't have direct and open access to the healthcare system. So what we want to do is, of course, we want to provide opportunities for the medical professionals, call it doctors, nurses, counselors, to come and talk to our students. But we also want to make sure that they're talking to our families, and we want to provide those opportunities. We want to serve as a bridge that will connect our communities to the healthcare system, and we want to be able to guide our families into the right direction whenever they have a health need.
Yeah. Well, can you talk more about the like okay, so students at Compass Rose Beam, they will have the Compass Rose teachers that they interact with every day for their classes, but and then you mentioned that doctors, nurses, and counselors and students will be able to interact with them as well. Can you kind of paint a picture of what that will be like?
Absolutely. It's something that I'm actually very excited about, Inga, because we've been working with doctors, pediatricians, endocrinologists in our community, nurses, counselors. And what we have created is we have created a work plan in which one professional from the medical field will come to our campus to talk to our students on a monthly basis. So they will have that direct access to these medical professionals. Then we will also have monthly field lessons in which we're going to be going to hospitals, we're going to be going to medical offices, we're going to be taking students to different areas where they could expand their knowledge about the medical field, but they could also have some hands-on experiences on how to take better care of themselves. So, for example, one of the areas that we're going to be studying, I mentioned before, is nutrition. So we're thinking about the possibility of having maybe a cooking class that we can go to one of our local vegan restaurants for students to experience different flavors and to understand that eating healthy doesn't have to look a certain way. There's many different options. So we want to make sure that we provide them with those opportunities.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that makes so much sense. I mean, I think having the professionals come to the campus, gives access so lots of students can hear from them, but then also giving the students outside the campus, and so they can see like how these professions function in the real world, and it'll expand their sense of possibility that students from any walk of life, any part of San Antonio have the potential to work in health fields and make a difference in the community.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I'm the most excited about is that, of course, we have specific topics that we're going to be studying with our students. And it's not just like the medical professional comes once a month. No, we're actually going to be reinforcing that knowledge with our teachers throughout the period of 2 months and a half per topic. But there's also an opportunity for students to have that very spontaneous interaction with our presenters. And we have been very selective with the doctors, nurses, and professionals that we have invited to be part of this. So they are very well aware that students are going to be asking questions, of course, about what they do, but they're also going to be asking questions about how did you get into medical school? Was it difficult? What kind of grades do you have to have? And is it expensive? Those very important questions that will help guide them into making the decision whether the medical field is the right field for them or not.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for helping us understand what the special field of study will be at Compass Rose Dream, and I'm really excited to hear about it because I feel like this fills a need in San Antonio, not just to have the students entering these health careers, but also no matter what career they go into, having a healthy lifestyle, and meeting the needs of the San Antonio community. Like, there's going to be more and more people who need caring for by people in the health professions, whether it's physical health or mental health. So I want to ask about this is probably a Brian question, but I remember at the beginning of the school year we talked about things like the goals that sort of system-wide goals at Compass Rose, like things like universal reading growth and supporting the students' social emotional learning and being aware of equity and how schools can implement equity initiatives. So I'm wondering, can you share, now that we're kind of towards the end of the school year, can you share about progress that towards those goals at Compass Rose?
Yes. And it's really exciting because we're also in this time where we're obviously doing a lot of planning ahead till into next year and thinking through how do we take all of those things up a notch. And so I've been in planning sessions all day today, right? Like thinking through these things. So very top of mind. When I think about universal reading growth, I remember that was a really like exciting conversation for us to have, Inga, as we were thinking about like impact of students being at home during the pandemic, right? Like how is this really like impacting early literacy, ongoing literacy development, right? And so it's been really exciting to see this really just holistic focus on literacy, whether it is through students' access to individualized ed tech tools, through students engaging with really authentic texts, right? Like really great novels, students engaging in read alouds, guided reading groups, right? Phonics instruction. And so there's been this really like just overall approach and everybody in sort of the sort of feel on all of our campuses to make sure that our students are making that growth, and also this investment in students having individual reading goals. So students like can tell you like, oh yeah, so my end of year like reading assessment, I need to get to this number. And while we are in the process of doing our end of year testing right now, we use map testing to measure growth over the course of the year. Right, one just like I can highlight at our Ingenuity campus, our third grade students, 100% of them made reading growth, and we just got that result yesterday. And so we're seeing those things come in. I don't have a comprehensive Compass Rose number because some of our schools are still testing, but it's like, yes, right, that's exactly what we set out to do this year. And it's been really exciting to see our kids, you know, have that sense of accomplishment and know that the hard work that they've put in has really paid off. And of course, our teachers have worked tremendously hard this year to really like you know, support the unfinished learning that students have, and really like just take it to the next level. So really proud of our teachers, really proud of our kids, our families. Everybody's been part of the process as it pertains to universal reading growth. Sorry, that was a really long answer, but I'll move to social emotional learning. You know, one thing we're really committed to getting better at always is social emotional learning, and making sure that we are addressing what our students are coming in with. And so next year, we've actually added social emotional counselors to all of our sites, which is not something that was part of our, you know, it hadn't consistently been part of our staffing model to date. And it's something that we're very committed to making sure is present on all of our campuses to support those individual student needs, to lead student groups, to really like make sure that students are getting access to a really qualified human who is trained in really the social emotional support side of things, outside of what our teachers are already doing, right? What our leaders are already doing in our schools. So looking forward to continuing to bring that, as well as a social emotional learning curriculum to our campuses next year. We'll be using the second step curriculum, which is really, really exciting as well. And then like our approach to equity is an always thing, right? Like, yes, focus this year continues to be a focus for next year. One of our really big things is making sure that our students always have access to really rigorous academic experiences on our campus. That means like students should always have grade level and above materials in front of them. Students should always be held to high academic standards in classrooms. Students should be doing the lifting, right, in classrooms and doing the heavy work of practicing with those on grade level materials. And so like that is going to create opportunities for more equitable outcomes and access, right? And so it's our responsibility to make sure that students are doing that work and are really being provided with the resources and the tools necessary to access on grade level material. So that's been a huge focus this year. We had a ton of wins in that area and continues to be, I'll do the spoiler, one of our big priorities for next year. Continuing with the universal reading growth priority is really making sure that students are spending the majority of time in classrooms deeply engaged in rigorous practice. So that's sort of where we're headed going into the 22-23 school year.
Yeah, wow. I can tell you those must have been some really good planning meetings, because like your energy from that is coming through. And it's really, and I'm just so happy. Like I remember, you know, talking to you at the beginning of the school year about the universal reading growth goal and thinking like, gosh, that just makes so much sense. Like, you know, and really like, you know, just like fingers crossed that that was gonna. And so hearing about, like, you know, you said third graders at Ingenuity 100% had growth this year. Like I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy for the teachers who worked with them, and you know, and with that, the kind of validation that and that's for the whole system to feel like hey, we were all pulling together and we all made a difference. And like you said, the equity, it's core to what you do, because it's providing, students from traditionally underserved communities with rigorous, like at or above grade level instruction. That's what opens doors for them to have, a bright future, accessing careers where maybe Black and brown students have been underrepresented, and they're going to have the whole world before them.
And I think, just thinking back, Inga, I did a chat, I think, with some of our campus principals at the beginning of the year. And one of the trends, I think, and the threads that kept coming out was, we absolutely believe that every child who walks through our doors is capable of doing the things that we are asking of them academically, behaviorally, social, emotionally. And so, like, that is something that we really live by at Compass Rose. And that comes through, right? Like, we are going to show up in our classrooms and our school spaces in a way where we have those really like high standards for students, and really making sure that we're putting work in front of them that is challenging, and helping them really progress through grade level and beyond.
Yeah. Oh, we have a comment. A viewer says she loves it. Compass Rose is focusing on the social, emotional, cultural aspects of the students. So thank you, Amelia.
I'm just going to put a little plug. The social emotional counselors we have on board for next year are like just so phenomenal. So they're really, really wonderful people. And we are also going to be spending a lot of time this summer working with our leadership teams around some trainings related to restorative practices, trauma-informed practices. So there's some things that are in the works as well right now.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Well, let me ask. Ryan just shared a success story about the third graders at Ingenuity, so I'm really happy for them with their reading growth. Do y'all have I feel like stories are, like data is really good, but stories are really good. Do y'all have more success stories to share that kind of show the Compass Rose culture in action?
I think I have one, Inga, and I would like to answer this not as a Compass Rose administrator, but as a Compass Rose parent. When we decided that we were going to come to Compass Rose, we decided to come in as a family, and that includes my ninth grader, Julieta, who is currently at Legacy. She's a student over there. And we come from a different school district, and Julieta hated school. She hated her teachers. She was struggling academically. We come to Compass Rose, and Julieta is just thriving academically. She loves her school. But the other day, she made a very simple comment that really summarizes everything that we are and everything that we believe. And she said that my teachers really care. And when I heard that, I am so proud that I am a part of these organizations where we really care about our students, where we really care more than just a number, more than just the data, which is important, of course, but we really care about them as human beings. And we want to make sure that they're doing the best they could possibly be doing. And I'm very proud for them.
Yeah, no, that means so much. Having those relationships, if students know that they're cared for, then they'll feel like they belong, and they'll be able to put out their best effort and feel safe doing that. So that's wonderful. Yeah. Okay, well, I always like to close out with, hopefully families listening to this, maybe they're getting excited about Compass Rose and they're trying to figure out what their next steps are. So I was wondering, can y'all give us some advice for families about connecting with Compass Rose, and then specifically for Compass Rose Dream? So that will be K through 5 in the coming school year, and location to be determined, but by 2023, going to the medical center area.
Yes. Go ahead, Felipe.
Yes, I would just like to say, friends and family, this is Principal Butanda from Compass Rose Dream, and I guarantee you that the same passion and commitment that all the teachers have when they work with my daughter is exactly the exact same passion and commitment that I'm going to have for your student. So come check us out, Compass Rose, and you can go into our website, compassrosepublicschool.org, or as a matter of fact, could I also share my phone number if anybody has questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
You can reach me directly, 956-203-5142. We're here to help you, and if you have any questions, we'll be more than happy to assist you. Thank you.
Okay, let me double check it. I'll put it up on the screen. It's 956-203-5142.
Correct.
Okay, I'll put that up on screen for just a little bit.
Excellent.
I'll also just add our social media. So our Facebook pages are really alive with a lot of the things that are going on at our schools. They're really informative. So we would encourage families to follow both our main Facebook page, which is our Compass Rose Public Schools Facebook page, but then we also have a specific Facebook page for Compass Rose Dream. Our wonderful team over at Dream is consistently posting events, right? Think family engagement opportunities, times that that families can come out and meet the team, meet their teachers for next year. Our teachers are constantly out there on the weekends. We have face painting events, lots of opportunities to really just engage and have fun together as we get ready to launch next school year.
Correct. If I may, we have an event coming up on Saturday. We're going to be at the Wonderland Mall of the Americas. We're going to be over there greeting, meeting families, talking about our school. So come and stop by and get face painting.
That's 11 to 4, right, Felipe?
11 to 4, correct.
Yes.
Okay, I'll pull that from the Compass Rose Dream Facebook page. I'll share it in the Charter Moms group, so that way more folks will be able to see it. So Compass Rose, y'all did a great job on social media communicating like those school culture moments of like kids enjoying their learning and having fun, and like they're having a great time. But as Ryan explained, like there's a commitment to having as much time as possible focused on rigorous instruction, because that's what is going to help the students grow and be ready for the future.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, did we cover what we wanted to cover? Any closing thoughts?
I'll share one quick thing. He's not going to love that I do this, but I want to highlight Mr. Butanda. He is just one of the most incredible leaders. He comes to us with years of really valuable experience and is consistently just pushing toward creating the very best school for kids and families for next year. I think he's probably the most passionate individual I've met in my recent life. He wants to create a great space for kids. He is, has hired the best individuals to be in front of kids. He believes in the work of Compass Rose, and he is absolutely going to serve all of our Compass Rose Dream kids with his whole heart and soul. Families definitely will not be disappointed, and I'm super excited to see his leadership really blossom in the year to come as he launches Compass Rose Dream.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Well, that's a great endorsement. Well, this is my first chance to virtually meet Felipe, but I'm looking forward to getting to meet you in person at some point, and down the road I can maybe get a campus tour at Compass Rose Dream and see what y'all are building.
We would love to have you on campus. Thank you.
Okay, well, great. Well, thank you so much for getting the update about Compass Rose Public Schools, like universal reading growth and social emotional learning, and getting the details about Compass Rose Dream, because I'm really excited to see that the Compass Rose network is growing, and I think that the focus on medicine and medical careers is very, very relevant to what students need and what the San Antonio community needs.
Oh, thank you, Inga, for this platform. Always, we really appreciate the work that you do to spread the word about school choice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Inga, for this opportunity.
Okay. All right. Take care. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.